Well, hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about the money that I actually made for my second full month as an independent contractor for field inspection, being that that's the only work that I do now to provide for myself. And I know that most of you already seen the video before for the month of March. So if you missed it and you haven't, you're new to this channel, please feel free to go back and watch that one. But this one is for the actual month of April. So I'm going to jump right into it and explain to you how and when I got paid, and I'll put it up on the screen so you can see it too. It took a little time to get it together because, you know, I had it all planned out on last month. And yeah, that didn't work out all too well. So I'm making sure that I don't show any of the wrong things. So I am bringing it to you now, raw and in effect, so that you guys can see, you know, firsthand of how it's working out for me going after my second actual month. So let me put my specs on. So you guys know I was already working for two companies that were paying me every week. And I was working for one company that was paying me every 2 weeks. I had already weeded out like several different companies. I want to say 3 or 4 as of to date that I had to let go of because, you know, I didn't either like the way they operated or it was some shady stuff going on. Long story short, there's in other videos. You can check that out too as well if you haven't seen it. But I also added another company in the middle of March, which actually pays every week as well. So the first check I got for them added to last month, which was only $75 because I had just started. So it adds on to this month. So now I have a total of 3 companies that pay every week, and I have one company that still pays every 2 weeks. And yeah, I don't know how long they're gonna last because, you know what, I'm trying to get to a point to where I'm only working certain type of work, and in order to do that, sometimes you got to weed some out. But anyway, let's just move on. So we're going to start off for my first paychecks was actually on April the 4th. April the 4th, I received a deposit for $210 for one company, and I also received a deposit of $304 for the next company. On April the 8th, the following week, I received $145.85. This was for the every 2 week company. So you see where I'm about to go with that one. April the 11th, I received 2 deposits again. One was for $580.75 and one was for $361 even. Then on April the 18th, I received a deposit again the next following week for $586 even and for $292.50. Rolling into April the 22nd, I received a deposit for $310, and this is for the company that was once per month. And remember, I just told you I cut them, so I got one payment for them this month, and on the same date of this month, they still owe me for a few more inspections, so that'll roll over into next month. But then after that, I won't be getting any more payments from them at all. And then after that, April the 23rd, I received a $60 payment. This is from the one that's every 2 weeks. Okay, most of you already know what company that is. They had me all up in the hills, and I was doing all of that. Now, when I was up there doing and working with brush fires and all of those types of insurance coverages and all of that stuff, the pay was a little decent as far as each one. It wasn't $15 for all of them because these are just homes. So all of those were not only just $15. You know, some of them will range for like 30, 45 bucks, 60 bucks. It depends on what type of insurance coverage it was. That was okay, but the problem is that I didn't want to have to drive my car up and down those hills. And I was just tired of doing it. I never liked being in the hills. And I told them to move me and put me into another area, which they did. But now I'm in another area that it's like 20 minutes away, but they don't have a lot of work as well, just like they didn't over here. The reason why I was making the money I was making over here was once again because of the brush fires. Well, the brush fire insurance coverage. Now, since I'm actually inside of the city, they do give me enough for me to at least make a couple of dollars off of them. I just make sure that it builds up enough so that when I get in my car and I'm driving 20 minutes away, I can go over there and knock out, you know, more than 10, 15, sometimes 20. As a matter of fact, I have 19 of them in there that I have printed out. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that and then debate from that point on if I am going to even actually consider continuing to work for them, because I don't want to stress over the small amounts of houses. And I know I did the calculation on the amount wise for the houses that I have in there printed out. We're looking at about $285 for 19 homes. Okay. And I know you're probably saying, well, that's pretty good. But you got to think about it. It's still 19 houses versus 2 or maybe 3 constructions, and you get the same amount of pay. So that's a lot of work. Once you start getting over into the construction side, you realize that, you're running ragged on the houses. And even though I was really enjoying the work, now that I know I won't have to ride around as much, I prefer to really just cut that and go right on into just doing full construction. So anyway, that's where I'm trying to lean myself to as of right now. I'm heading in that actual direction of just doing only construction. Now on April the 24th, I received again from one company that was only paying every week, but it was $215. And in April the 25th, the following day, I received 2 deposits. And one was for $240 and the other one was for $718.75. And that was April the 25th. And those were the last ones that I had total for the month, which brought me to a complete of $4,224.35. But there is one of these companies that was actually paying bonus for every single stop. And instead of them having it automatically put in there, but sometimes it'll skip it, and I would send an email really quick, and then they would go ahead and drop it in, and I would receive my bonuses. So once I added that third company, I forgot to actually continue to go in there. I guess I just assumed that it would start adding the bonuses as it should every week. And I was so busy with all of these different work that I was doing, calling, trying to chase people down, doing all of these appointment settings, running all around all the time, every day being busy. My mind was nowhere on having to call a company and tell them how to do their job. Okay, but anyway, the bonuses did not kick in. And so I realized it when I started clearing out my invoices, because normally what I do is at the end of every week, once it shows finalized inside of whatever company I may be looking at on the computer at that time, I'll go ahead and delete everything, because now I know it's finalized and I'm getting paid. That means they're not going to be coming back later and ask me, would I happen to have a photo of this? The underwriter wants to know, do you have a photo of that? So I knew that by me doing that, I would be able to keep up with things. Well, what happened was, like I said before, I got bombarded with stuff and I was not watching. At the end of the month, I was like, my envelope that I keep all of my completed files was so thick I couldn't fold it. So I knew that meant that my computer was full of work. So I went in, decided I'd go in there and take a look at it and start pulling stuff out. And in the midst of doing that, I was downloading my invoices from the companies. And that's when I realized that since the very first week of April, one of the companies was not putting any bonuses in at all. So I sent that in, and that was a total of $480 not paid yet. So I'll get that in a separate check this week, but that was supposed to be a part of April. So with that being said, altogether, instead of it being $422,435, it would be $4,704.35. I started to just leave it, and since it rolls into May payment and it's going to have a May payment number on it, I started to leave it as May, but I decided, you know what, since it's part of April, I'm going to leave it as April and let it be. But I do know that my money would have been a little thicker, but this month has not been the best of month for me. Most of you already know that. There's a lot of birthdays in this month. My birthday was April the 27th on a Saturday. And my daughter's birthday was the week before, April 20th, and my mom's April the 12th. So we have a lot of Aprils in here. And so, by my mom no longer being here, I needed to do something to keep my mind straight, and I didn't want to work to do it. So I said, you know what? In order to do that, I'm going to enjoy my birthday the best I know how. It didn't work out like that. Yes, in case you guys can hear it, my voice sounds a little bit stronger. That's because I've been really fighting a bug for the last 2 weeks. I went to an inspection and someone was sick and didn't tell me she was sick until after I got home, and she contacted me asking me about a question over the phone, and I realized she was sick, and that's why my nose has started running, and I've been fighting it ever since. so I'm a little hoarse. And it took away my week that I called myself was going to take off. So I had actually scheduled some work between the 22nd and the 24th, which was Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I had no plan to do any more work other than after that until the next following Monday on the 29th. And even though I was sick the entire time, I still had 5 days off with no work. So with that being said, it was still a pretty good month. Now, I don't know if y'all know it now, but yeah, I'm going through another dilemma right now as we speak. So I don't know how I'm going to work that out, but at the same time, it'll be okay. I don't run the streets and I save my pay, so I'll be okay. And once again, God is good. But anyway, I decided to share that with you all and let you in on what I've been doing and the amount of money that I made last month. I know I could probably make more even this month if I decided to go ahead and start working on Fridays, because y'all know I don't do Fridays and I hadn't been doing Saturdays. But now, since my baby's in the shop, I'm pretty sure I already uploaded that video. If you haven't seen it, please take a look. But it's since I've had to do that, and I know that I'll probably have to throw in those Fridays now. And the only reason why I'm going to do that is because these appointments that I made, I need to get all of them done and knock all of them out as much and as quickly as I can, because we're getting ready to welcome a baby into the family. And I do not have time to be running around any other extra days, and stressing myself out on workload. But with all of that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the content today, and have a wonderful rest of your night.